Is it ever the case that you have the impression that someone is subtly draining your emotions, as if their desires are always prioritized and yours are of no significance? It is possible that you are dealing with a narcissist, and the ongoing emotional toll has the potential to leave you feeling exhausted and perplexed. The optimism, however, continues. You are capable of regaining your inner peace and developing the ability to overcome the challenges that come with complex relationships. This video will discuss 13 essential Stoic concepts that have been of assistance to a great number of individuals in dealing with unhealthy relationships, particularly those that involve narcissists. Participate in our community of individuals who are advancing their own personal growth and development. In order to ensure that you are always up to date with our most recent videos on Stoicism, emotional resilience, and personal development, you should subscribe to our channel and enable notifications. Let us pool our resources and work together to build a life in which we are content with both ourselves and the relationships we have. Number 1. Go limited or no contact if you can. In accordance with what Epictetus said, the secret to achieving inner calm is to focus on the things that we have control over. If you find yourself in a relationship that has become toxic, it is of the utmost importance to recognize that the harmfulness of the other party is not due to your decisions or actions. By allowing you to have limited or no contact with the other person, this principle gives you the tools you need to safeguard your mental and emotional health. It can be emotionally taxing and dangerous to your mental health to have the expectation that a toxic person in your life will change. Remembering that change is not your responsibility but rather theirs is of the utmost importance. It is possible that you will discover that the most effective method for protecting yourself is to completely withdraw from the relationship, particularly in situations where verbal or physical abuse is involved. It is not always possible to achieve complete separation, however. Take into account the particulars of your circumstance and choose the approach that places the highest priority on your well-being and contentment. Depending on the nature of the relationship, the following are some options that can be selected between. In the event that you are being mistreated, your safety ought to be your number 1 concern. Prepare yourself for your departure, look for alternative lodging, and keep your plans a secret in order to protect yourself from any potential harm that may come your way. I want you to keep in mind that your safety is of the utmost importance. One of the viable options is to cut down on the amount of time spent with close friends or family members who are not healthy. Reduce the amount of phone calls and texts you send and receive. Set up a limited contact schedule, for instance, once a week or once a month, or even take a short-term leave of absence with your significant other. Each and every relationship requires the establishment of appropriate boundaries. Unfortunately, there are some co-workers who can be extremely toxic. Restriction of interactions should be limited to topics dealing with work. It is best to avoid having personal conversations or participating in social activities with them. In the event that their behavior becomes intolerable, you should report it to the appropriate authorities. Take into consideration at all times that prioritizing your health is not an act of selfishness, rather, it is an essential requirement. It is not about punishing toxic people, rather, it is about protecting yourself from the negativity that they bring into your life. Limiting or eliminating contact with toxic people is not about punishing them. If you find yourself in need of assistance, look for it from dependable friends, family members, or professionals. As opposed to relationships that are draining, you deserve to have relationships that are healthy, supportive, and uplifting. Number 2, take authority away from them. Seneca, a Stoic philosopher, emphasized the significance of maintaining control over our reactions and emotions, even when we are on the receiving end of manipulation. It is possible to develop resilience against the attempts of toxic individuals to dominate you if you remove authority from those particular individuals. A toxic person is typically someone who has an unquenchable thirst for approval and validation. The individuals who have the ability to either withhold or grant it make them feel intimidated. There is a possibility that they think of equals as competitors or as threats to their authority. Keeping eye contact with someone at all times and speaking in a voice that is calm and unchanging are both essential components of successful confidence. Not only does this instill confidence, but it also poses a threat to their absolute dominance. The boundaries and requirements that you have should be communicated in a clear and concise manner without the need to apologize or justify yourself. When you want to avoid using accusatory language, use I statements. Arguments and emotional reactions should be avoided because they provide fuel for the manipulative strategies that they plan to use. To avoid giving in to their demands or giving in to their guilt trips, you should be unpredictable. Make sure there are no questions about the behaviors that are acceptable and those that are not acceptable. Restricting contact or ending the relationship are two examples of the consequences that should be implemented for infractions. It is not necessary to seek their approval. You are not defined by the opinions of other people. Instead, you should concentrate on your own self-worth and affirmation. In order to receive support, it is important to share your experiences with people who are supportive, such as friends, family, or professionals. The acquisition of perspectives from sources outside of yourself can assist you in becoming more determined. You should seek the assistance of a professional because it is in your best interest. You can protect your mental health and deal with manipulation with the help of a therapist who can provide you with the tools and strategies you need. Always keep in mind that regaining your power is a process that requires patience and more time than you might think. Self-care is an extremely important practice. Because doing so will help you resist being manipulated, you should give activities that are beneficial to your mental and emotional well-being a higher priority. You should know that you are not alone. A lot of people have interactions with manipulative people. Seek assistance in order to break their hold. Number 3, stay calm when they're trying to upset you. Marcus Aurelius, the well-known Stoic emperor, advocated for maintaining one's inner peace in spite of the chaos that existed in the outside world. Maintaining your composure in the face of someone who is attempting to upset you is consistent with the concept of emotional resilience. It makes it possible for you to escape the game of manipulation that they are playing. The ability to elicit emotional responses from other people is a source of satisfaction for certain individuals. They feel a sense of power and control over you because of your anger. In order to observe their behavior without becoming emotionally invested, you must first detach yourself from your feelings. Take into consideration that this is more of a strategy than a reflection of your value. The practice of mindful breathing techniques, such as counting to 10 or deep breathing, can assist you in becoming more rooted in the here and now and in gaining control over your emotions. Kindly refrain from giving in to their taunts or engaging in a debate with them. Instead, you should disregard the offering of bait. Never forget that silence can be an appropriate response. Always keep this in mind. If someone crosses the boundaries of what is considered acceptable behavior, you should remove yourself from the situation in a calm and collected manner. This is an important component of ensuring that boundaries are maintained. You can diffuse their negativity by visualizing them wearing a silly outfit or by imagining yourself in a tranquil environment. This will help you respond with humor and detachment. You have the ability to protect yourself from their negativity by employing a shield of humor. You are able to combat their pessimism by engaging in positive internal dialogue and using affirmations such as "I am calm, I am in control," or "this situation does not define me." Share your experiences with people who are willing to offer support. You should talk about your experiences with people who can support you, such as friends, relatives, or a therapist. The acquisition of perspectives from sources outside of yourself can assist you in becoming more determined. With the assistance of a therapist, it may be beneficial to acquire the necessary resources and techniques to effectively manage emotional triggers and cultivate resilience. This can be accomplished by seeking professional assistance. Remember that achieving calmness is a skill, and that developing emotional control requires practice and patience. This is something that you must keep in mind at all times. Be kind to yourself as you are gaining knowledge and developing your skills. Taking care of yourself is very important, and you should make it a top priority to participate in activities that are beneficial to your mental and emotional health. As a result, your ability to remain calm and collected in the face of intense pressure will gradually improve. Through the utilization of these strategies and the acquisition of assistance, it is not inconceivable to liberate oneself from the cycle of irritability toward other people and to cultivate a more profound sense of inner peace. 4. Build your self-esteem. When you are negotiating relationships with people who exhibit narcissistic tendencies, it is a valuable tool to work on building up your self-esteem. The Stoic philosophy, which places an emphasis on the greatness and resiliency of the individual, is consistent with this. It is possible for individuals who suffer from narcissistic personality disorder to engage in behaviors that are manipulative, insulting, and emotionally draining. These behaviors can contribute to the deterioration of self-esteem in other individuals. The importance of confidence and self-control. Your ability to defend yourself against negativity and protect your health is directly correlated to your level of self-esteem. In order to combat negativity, you should make use of affirmations that highlight your accomplishments and strengths. Confronting and replacing self-deprecating thoughts with affirmations that demonstrate your value is an important step. Put your attention on the positive aspects of yourself, your life, and the qualities that you possess that you admire. Gratitude is a practice that can be shown here. Your interests should come first. You should engage in activities that are beneficial to your mind, body, and spirit, as well as spend time with the people who are important to you and participate in activities that bring you pleasure. Your time and energy should be protected. You should learn to say no to unreasonable demands, and you should establish healthy boundaries. Identify and cultivate relationships with trustworthy individuals who validate your worth and provide support for your overall well-being. Make use of the assistance of professionals. When it comes to constructing one's sense of self-worth and dealing with interactions with challenging individuals, a therapist may be able to provide helpful direction and techniques. Enhancing your resilience makes you less susceptible to the manipulative strategies used by individuals who are motivated solely by their own self-interest, and it also makes you better equipped to deal with the negativity that these individuals bring into your life. You are able to establish clear boundaries and voice your requirements without experiencing feelings of shame or obligation as a result of your increased self-assurance, which allows you to do so. As you make progress through the process of self-advocacy, you will acquire the ability to safeguard your mental and emotional health as well as advocate for yourself. It is important to keep in mind that the process of developing your self-esteem is one that takes place over time and requires consistent effort. Encourage yourself to be patient with yourself and to celebrate your achievements, regardless of how insignificant they may seem. Consult with someone if you feel that you need additional direction or support. Developing one's self-esteem is a means by which one can cultivate inner strength, which in turn enables them to navigate intricate relationships with increased self-respect and confidence. Potential exists for empowerment. 5. Set clear boundaries. Seneca, a Stoic philosopher, emphasized that it is critically important to define one's boundaries in order to safeguard one's emotional and physical health. In the context of dealing with a person who exhibits narcissistic characteristics, the establishment of these restrictions takes on an even greater level of significance. Among the many effective ways to accomplish this goal is the following: manifestations of narcissistic personalities and characteristics. When it comes to exercising control and management over other people, individuals who suffer from narcissistic personality disorder frequently disregard the boundaries that were set for them. The establishment of distinct boundaries results in the formation of a safe space around you, which safeguards your time, energy, and emotional well-being. When it comes to protecting yourself, this kind of protection is absolutely necessary. Think about your core values. Figure out the kinds of actions and behaviors that you consider to be disrespectful or inappropriate at this point in time. Think about the things that you believe, the things that you require, and how you feel about yourself. Exemplary example in particular. When making comments, you should focus on specific behaviors that you want to reduce rather than making general statements. Excessive criticism, unwanted physical contact, and a disregard for your time are all examples of behaviors that fall into this category. Free from concealment and honest. During the process of communicating your boundaries to the individual, you should avoid using language or explanations that are accusatory. Explain them in a straightforward and clear manner instead. Make use of I statements. The way in which their actions affect you and the characteristics that you will or will not tolerate should be the primary focus of your attention. Take the following example: I feel disrespected when you disturb me. You must pay attention to what I have to say without interrupting me. The consequences should be determined. Identify the consequences that you will implement in the event that your boundaries are violated, and be prepared to take action. Among these are removing oneself from the conversation, decreasing the amount of contact with the other person, or seeking assistance from sources outside of the conversation. It is imperative that you remember to demonstrate your sincerity and stop any further deception. You are required to consistently enforce the consequences that you have established. It is important to keep in mind that setting boundaries is not an act of selfishness. The two things that are most important are that you respect yourself and that you take care of your health. Maintain a calm and patient demeanor at all times. You should continue to be firm in enforcing your boundaries, even though the individual might need some time to adjust to the new situation. Make an effort to get help. In order to receive guidance and support, you should not hesitate to confide in dependable friends, members of your family, or a therapist. 6. Find a support system. It is well known that the Stoics, who were known for their emphasis on social connections and resilience, understood the significance of having a strong support system. When one is negotiating a relationship with someone who exhibits narcissistic traits, the importance of building such a network becomes even more apparent. The following is a guide that will help you build a community of people who will encourage you and give you power. It is possible to receive emotional validation, encouragement, and practical direction from a network of supportive people. All of these things contribute to the concept of strength in numbers, which in turn strengthens your resilience. Make an effort to rekindle old relationships by getting in touch with former friends or family members who are able to offer you understanding and an ear to listen to your concerns. Strengthen the relationships you already have with people who are supportive of you in order to develop the relationships you already have. This can be accomplished by demonstrating your gratitude and working to strengthen the connections you have with others. You can broaden your horizons and find new interests by participating in activities such as attending a class, joining a group, or volunteering in your community. Your chances of meeting people who share your interests and values are increased when you participate in activities that you enjoy. Taking part in online support groups or forums is something you should think about. In the event that you are experiencing difficulties with narcissism, you should give some thought to taking part in online support groups or conversations. Through counseling, you can improve your self-esteem, develop skills for coping with difficult situations, and gain new insights. You might want to think about seeing a professional counselor. Find support organizations that are primarily focused on narcissistic abuse and make use of their services. These organizations can be found either locally or online. Establishing a connection with individuals who comprehend and share your experiences can be an extremely affirming experience. It is important to locate individuals who are willing to actively listen to you, offer support that is free from judgment, and validate the experiences that you have had. People who are empathetic should be chosen. When it comes to maintaining healthy relationships, it is essential to select individuals who respect your boundaries whenever possible. It is also essential to steer clear of people who bring misery or drama into the situation. Empower yourself by surrounding yourself with people who are supportive of your personal development, who look out for your well-being, and who rejoice in your accomplishments. Always keep in mind that the process of establishing a support network requires both time and effort. Take your time, work on strengthening your relationships, and don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it. Prioritize quality over quantity when it comes to reaching out to other people. You should prioritize having a small number of genuine connections over having a large number of acquaintances. Assisting others is a two-way street. It is essential to be willing to assist other people in your network in order to cultivate a sense of mutual concern and understanding. 7. Exposing manipulative behavior. At the same time that upholding the Stoic principle of honesty is essential, it is necessary to expose the manipulative behavior of something. When deciding whether or not to expose someone's dishonest behavior in front of other people, it is important to carefully consider the potential risks and consequences. It is possible that public exposure is not only ineffective but also dangerous, particularly in circumstances in which a person is suspected of having narcissistic personality disorder. In order to protect yourself, you should make your physical and emotional well-being a top priority. This might involve defining acceptable and inappropriate behavior in a clear and concise manner and enforcing these limitations on a consistent basis. Limit your contact with the individual and try to interact with them as little as possible, especially in potentially explosive situations. Make an effort to get help by confiding in a therapist, close friends, or members of your family in order to receive assistance and emotional support. Make use of direct communication when it is appropriate. Your concerns about their behavior and how it affects you should be communicated in a calm and assertive manner, preferably in a controlled environment and with the assistance of appropriate individuals. Nevertheless, you should be ready for the possibility of being manipulated or defensive. In order to protect yourself in the event that additional issues arise, it is important to keep a record of all conversations, whether they are recorded through texts, emails, or witness accounts. services provided by professionals. A therapist or counselor who specializes in dealing with severe issues related to abuse or non-verbal communication disorders is the best person to seek assistance from. It is recommended that you seek their assistance. They are able to provide guidance and assistance in order to navigate the problem in a manner that is both safe and effective. Keep in mind that you are able to manage your own activities, but you cannot control the behavior of other people. The importance of making your health and safety a top priority cannot be overstated. Alternative strategies have the potential to be more effective and reduce the risk of exposure to the general public in comparison to public exposure. Please seek the advice of a specialist if you require assistance. By paying attention to your health and employing strategies that are less dangerous, you can safeguard yourself and make progress in a way that is both beneficial and healthy. 8. Trust yourself. Instead of believing their lies, you should have faith in yourself. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, emphasized the significance of having faith in one's own judgment. There is a profound resonance with this idea when one is confronted with individuals who are willing to manipulate other people. It is important to cultivate this inner trust in order to successfully navigate attempts at gaslighting. Gaslighting is a technique that is frequently used by manipulators. This form of manipulation involves making you question your memories, perceptions, and even your sanity. By establishing confidence in yourself, you will be able to liberate yourself from their control and protect your mental health. Be on the lookout for the following strategies someone who is attempting to gaslight you might try to rewrite history, deny events that have occurred, or blame you for their actions. Develop an awareness of your own emotions. Due to the fact that feelings of uncertainty, anxiety, or bewilderment can be warning signs, it is important to pay attention to them. Take the time to educate yourself on the facts. In order to validate your memories and views, you should look for evidence. Seek validation from sources that are not internal. You should seek the advice of dependable friends, members of your family, or a therapist in order to obtain their perspective. Refrain from getting into arguments and let go of the need to prove yourself, as doing so will only serve to feed their momentum. Make use of neutral language, such as "I understand your perspective." In order to show respect for the other person's point of view without completely accepting it as the truth, take care not to violate any boundaries. To avoid giving the impression that you are manipulative, you should either cut off contact or withdraw from conversations. Engaging in activities that bring you joy and help you feel more connected to who you are is an excellent way to keep your mental and emotional health in good shape. In the event that gaslighting is severe or is having an impact on your day-to-day life, you should seek the assistance of a professional. To develop coping mechanisms and to build up your self-confidence, you might want to think about going to therapy. The process of overcoming the effects of manipulation and developing one's own sense of self-assurance is a journey that calls for time and practice. Take into consideration that trusting oneself is a process that involves more than just you. There are a lot of people who believe they have been gaslighted, and there is support available. By placing an emphasis on self-trust and employing these strategies, you will be able to reclaim your narrative and successfully manage complex relationships with greater resilience. The act of empowerment is attainable. Number 9. Trick them into doing you a favor. Stoic philosophy offers a unique perspective on how to communicate effectively, which is especially useful when negotiating challenging situations with individuals who have an exaggerated sense of their own importance. Seneca, a prominent Stoic philosopher, investigated the art of persuasion and influence, and he provided insightful guidance on how to apply these strategies in a manner that is consistent with Stoic beliefs. When it comes to Stoicism, Seneca places a strong emphasis on the necessity of effective communication, highlighting the importance of morally persuading others and upholding values. In situations where one is dealing with individuals who exhibit narcissistic tendencies, the adoption of persuasive approaches becomes a strategic weapon that is grounded in Stoic wisdom. It is common for people who have inflated egos to look for reinforcement and recognition from other people. Stoicism acknowledges the complexity of human nature and provides a framework for managing the dynamics that are inherent in this complexity. It is necessary to recognize the ego-driven motivations that are behind the actions of certain individuals in order to design persuasive methods that appeal to the need for praise and admiration that comes with certain individuals. It is essential to quietly guide individuals toward actions that involve outcomes that are mutually beneficial, and this should be done in accordance with Stoic ideals. When a person is skilled at making suggestions, they are able to appeal to their ego while still maintaining their integrity. For instance, when you are making a request, you should emphasize how their participation might leave a lasting positive impact. The boss will be so impressed with you if you can cover my shift this weekend. You should also credit them for their unique skills and capabilities in order to make them feel valued. For instance, you could say something like, "Can you assist in decorating for the gala? You have the best design sensibility." You can also use their desire for heroics and affirmation to your advantage by saying something like, "You'll be an absolute hero if you can pick me up from the airport next week." In Stoic philosophy, issues of ethics and virtue are accorded a significant amount of importance. When employing methods of persuasion, it is of the utmost importance to make certain that the demands are honest, conduct themselves in an ethical manner, and contribute to the well-being of all parties involved. Persuasion from a Stoic perspective seeks to achieve favorable outcomes for both parties involved without compromising the integrity of their moral principles. It is possible for individuals to successfully navigate interactions with individuals who exhibit narcissistic qualities by incorporating the Stoic technique of persuasion into their interactions. The observations made by Seneca offer a roadmap that enables us to capitalize on the ego-driven motivations of individuals while adhering to the Stoic standards of virtuous communication. If individuals embrace the art of suggestion and frame their requests in an ethical manner, they have the ability to influence the behavior of those around them in a manner that is congruent with Stoic philosophical principles. Number 10. Focus on self-care. The Stoics placed a strong emphasis on holistic well-being as a result of their recognition of the interconnection that exists between the mind, the body, and the spirit. When you are dealing with the aftermath of narcissistic abuse, it is imperative that you make self-care a top priority in order to heal and regain your sense of identity. Self-care can be prioritized in this environment by adhering to the steps that are listed below. The emotional and psychological wounds that can be caused by narcissistic abuse can last for a significant amount of time after the relationship of abuse has ended. It is essential to place a high priority on your health and well-being in order to facilitate healing, the development of resilience, and the prevention of further harm. It is possible to redirect your attention away from negative thoughts by cultivating an attitude of gratitude toward the positive aspects of your life, regardless of how insignificant any of those aspects may appear to be. Journaling is the practice of writing down the things that you appreciate about yourself, your life, and the people who are an integral part of your support system. You should make getting enough sleep, eating nutritious meals, and exercising on a regular basis your top priorities. People who participate in these activities are laying the groundwork for their mental and physical well-being, They are laying the foundation. The cultivation of movement and mindfulness can be accomplished through the participation in activities that you enjoy, such as yoga, walking, or dancing. Mindfulness and stress reduction are both benefits of engaging in physical activity. Spending time in natural settings helps one feel more at ease and grounded. Your nervous system can be calmed, anxiety can be reduced, and your ability to think clearly can be improved by practicing exercises that involve deep breathing. Developing a regular meditation practice can assist in the management of negative emotions, the enhancement of one's ability to prioritize, and the cultivation of inner peace. Create a supportive environment for yourself by surrounding yourself with people who can empathize with and validate your feelings, such as close friends, members of your family, or a therapist like that. You might want to think about going to a professional therapist in order to examine your experiences, develop skills for coping with them, and restore your self-esteem. Therapists who specialize in narcissistic abuse are able to offer individualized counseling and assistance for the purpose of healing and moving on with your life. The process of healing is a journey, so it is important to be patient with yourself. Healing is a process that takes time, and it is normal to experience setbacks along the way. In order to successfully navigate this process, it is essential to engage in self-compassion practices and to treat yourself with care and understanding. Potential exists for empowerment. Putting self-care at the forefront of your priorities and reaching out for assistance can help you regain your power and build a life that is rich in self-respect and prosperity. In addition to being a requirement, self-care is also considered a luxury. By cultivating your mind, body, and spirit, you give yourself the opportunity to create an environment that is conducive to healing and personal growth. You have the right to experience feelings of safety, value, and empowerment, and the practice of self-care is the key to unlocking these possibilities for yourself. Number 11, avoid giving them an emotional reaction. The ability to maintain emotional equilibrium is of the utmost importance in the realm of Stoicism. Epictetus, a well-respected Stoic philosopher, offered extremely helpful insights into how to keep one's composure in the face of external provocations. In Stoic ideals, particularly those that place an emphasis on emotional resilience and self-control, the concept of emotional equilibrium is considered to be absolutely essential. The philosopher Epictetus, who is well known for his teachings on self-discipline and the ability to control one's reactions, advocated for the significance of maintaining emotional stability. Stoicism is a school of philosophy that places an emphasis on the realization that our feelings are ultimately under our control. Having the capacity to withstand the influence of external factors is one of the characteristics of a Stoic. The practice of grey rocking, which is associated with Stoicism, has the potential to effectively protect one from those who are manipulative or who sap one's vitality. If one makes the conscious decision to not react emotionally to situations, it is possible to become as uninteresting, and mild-mannered as a grey rock. The realization that their efforts are met with apathy can be extremely frustrating for individuals who are looking for emotional reactions. This deliberate disconnection can be frustrating for individuals. When confronted with a person who is manipulative or drains one's energy, the absence of emotional reactions renders the individual uninteresting. This is especially true in situations where the individual is the subject of the confrontation. As a consequence of this, individuals undergo feelings of boredom and irritation as a result of the fact that their efforts to elicit a response are consistently met with a persistent lack of interest. People who are toxic frequently thrive on the drama and emotional upheaval that they go through in their relationship. By practicing emotional resilience, one can prevent such individuals from obtaining the fuel that they are looking for. As a result of the fact that they do not receive the satisfaction of emotional reactions or access to personal information, these individuals have no reason to continue their disruptive behavior. It is not the suppression of feelings that is the focus of the Stoic approach to emotional detachment. Rather, the cultivation of inner strength is the focus of this approach. While doing so, it is necessary to acknowledge one's feelings without allowing them to dictate how one reacts to different situations. In accordance with the teachings of Stoicism, the only things that are under our control are the thoughts and actions that we have. The Stoic concept of self-mastery is aligned with the practice of refusing to react emotionally, which is an example of maintaining control over one's responses. When it comes to developing emotional resilience, the Stoic principles of emotional detachment can be of great assistance. Individuals are guided by the teachings of Epictetus to maintain their composure and to refrain from allowing external provocations to disrupt the inner tranquility that they have. Being a grey rock, which means remaining unmoved and unaffected, is one way to effectively discourage people who are manipulative or draining of energy. This is one way to discourage people who are manipulative or drain that energy. When it comes to dealing with a wide range of emotional issues, this is the essence of Stoic wisdom. 12. Build a support system to help you stay strong. On the other hand, the Stoics emphasize that having a strong community on your side makes it easier to deal with the challenges that life presents. Building a network of supportive relationships is even more important when negotiating a relationship with someone who exhibits narcissistic traits. This is because the relationship will be more difficult to negotiate. By adhering to these steps, you will be able to successfully cultivate a circle of strength and encouragement. You can rekindle long-lost connections by reaching out to members of your family, acquaintances, or co-workers who may be able to offer you support and understanding. In order to strengthen your connections with people who support you, deepen your connections with them, and express your gratitude more frequently, it is important to facilitate the development of existing connections. In order to broaden your horizons and discover new interests, you should make an effort to attend classes, join clubs, or volunteer in your community. It is more likely that you will meet people who share your interests if you engage in activities that you enjoy. In the event that you are struggling with narcissism, you might want to think about participation in online support groups or forums. For the purpose of enhancing your self-esteem, developing skills for coping, and gaining new insights, you should seek counseling. One should seek out local or online support organizations that are primarily focused on narcissistic abuse and utilize the services that these organizations offer. It is possible to feel a tremendous sense of affirmation when one connects with people who understand and share their experiences. Put yourself in the company of people who will actively listen to you, offer support without passing judgment, and validate the experiences you have had. If you want to keep your boundaries healthy, you should surround yourself with people who exhibit empathy and respect your limits and restrictions. Steer clear of people who bring on drama or negativity. You have the ability to empower yourself by surrounding yourself with people who are supportive of your personal development, who look out for your well-being, and who rejoice in your accomplishments. Always keep in mind that the process of establishing a support network requires both time and effort. Take your time, work on strengthening your relationships, and don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it. Choose quality over quantity, and make a select few genuine connections your top priority rather than a large number of acquaintances. Assisting others is a two-way street. It is essential to be willing to assist other people in your network in order to cultivate a sense of mutual concern and understanding. 13. Recognize when you need help. Self-awareness and the pursuit of wisdom were two things that the Stoics considered to be of the utmost importance regardless of the circumstances. When you are confronted with a person who is displaying narcissistic characteristics, it is essential to place an emphasis on your own mental and emotional well-being. Prioritizing your own health and well-being is absolutely necessary in order to negotiate a healthy relationship with someone like that. That which pertains to your mental and emotional health ought to be given the utmost importance. If you want to accomplish it, follow the steps below. The abuse of a narcissistic personality can result in a variety of health problems, both physical and mental, including, amongst other things, feelings of anxiety and depression. Recognizing that you are in need of assistance is a demonstration of both strength and respect for both your intelligence and your own intelligence. Anxiety, hopelessness, low self-esteem, sadness, feelings of isolation, hopelessness, and emotional dysregulation are all examples of emotional symptoms that may be experienced. In addition to aches and pains that cannot be explained, exhaustion, changes in sleep or appetite, headaches, and digestive disorders are all examples of physical symptoms that may be experienced. The individual may exhibit changes in behavior such as withdrawing from social activities, having difficulty concentrating, ignoring the need for self-care, or engaging in behaviors that are harmful to themselves or others. Make contact with the people you care about in order to receive emotional support and understanding. Discuss your concerns with dependable friends, members of your family, or a spiritual counselor. Creating a support network that can offer you assistance, affirmation, and support in every facet of your life is something you should accomplish. You should take part in activities that bring you joy. Set aside time in your schedule for your interests, for unwinding, and for spending time with the people who are important to you. Maintain your healthy routines, such as eating meals that are high in nutrients, engaging in regular physical activity, and getting enough sleep in order to improve both your physical and mental health. You can improve your ability to control your feelings and stress by incorporating mindfulness into your daily routine. This will help you manage stress more effectively. One's health can be improved by engaging in activities such as meditation and practicing techniques that involve deep breathing. Keep in mind that you are not the only one out there. Help is available for those who are victims of narcissistic abuse, which affects a large number of people. It is essential to place a high priority on your health in order to restore your health and move on with your life. It is not an act of selfishness to take care of yourself on a regular basis. Investigate a wide range of resources and figure out which ones are the most useful for that particular situation.